Hello, Allah. Good evening. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah, good evening. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. Okay. So, under test management or test policy, test strategy, test methodology, and test plan, you will come across. So, test policy is nothing but like organizational level. So, within the organization, which are the projects are carrying? Okay. Going on, all those projects should follow. That is the policy. So, that is nothing but like uh, objectives and goals gets defined here in your testing policy with respect to testing department. Okay. So uh, that is a company level document, and four different steps you will come across. What are those? Test testing definition, testing process, testing standards, and testing measurements. So these are the four different steps you will come across in your test policy. Then in test strategy, again company level document come up by quality analyst. So whatever the objectives and goals got defined here in test policy, how to achieve those objectives and goals gets defined here in your test strategy. Okay, so their scope and objective, business issues, roles and responsibilities, communication and status reporting, automation tools, defect tracking, test environment and test bed, like that, or different steps you will come across. So all this one really you don't want to remember. If you remember, that is better. Okay, so test policy as well as test strategy, both of them are company level documents. Okay, that means within that organization, which are the projects, which are the clients are available across all clients, you should follow. Those are the standards. That means test policy as well as test strategy. Okay, so far it's good, but some another client come up with, and he asked us to come up with like little bit modified way. Another important thing, CMM level 5 certification, if you take, okay, so some another client come up with, and he asked little bit modified way. Before that, another important point you have to remember, like if it is CMM level 5 company, let us suppose CMM level 5 company means, what does it mean? You should follow some standards. Okay, so uh, let us suppose IBM is a CMM level 5 company. That means with there is no need like all the projects should follow CMM level 5 implementation or CMM level 5 standards. It doesn't mean. Okay, some project they may follow CMM level 3 itself, but another project may not follow any of the standards, right? So like that, it depends actually. It's not like everybody, it is CMM level 5 company means should follow standards exactly like that. Okay, so my point here is like that. So some client come up to you, and he is asking little bit modified way kind of standards. So at that time, what you have to do, you cannot say like I cannot come up with that process, so this is the process we define, you should follow, like that we cannot say, right? We are based on customers. Our business is majorly depends on customers. So customer is requesting like that means we should definitely change our process. There is no doubt. Otherwise we cannot lose our customers, right? So we should change our process, right? So at that time, what we do is like we'll be coming up with modified or customized way of test strategy. So that is nothing but test methodology. That is nothing but test methodology. Okay, so test strategy is company level document, test methodology is project level. So who will come up with this test methodology? project manager will come up with. But project manager have to come up with the test methodology. Means what he have to do? First, he have to understand what is organizational level strategy. What is organization strategy? Right? So what is organization strategy means? So he have to get to test strategy document and have to understand thoroughly. Then only for this project, what client is expecting, like little bit modified way. So that is what you try to get it up. So that is nothing but like refinement form of test strategy is nothing but test methodology you can consider. Okay. So the idea is very simple. Some companies remember another important point: test strategy and test methodology, both the documents as single document they are maintaining. But some clients keeping them both of them as different. Some organizations maintaining both of them as single document, but few organizations maintaining both of them as different. Okay. So whatever we are talking about this one with respect to the organizations, which one they are keeping both of them as different. If that is the case, your project manager what he does is like he will get test strategy. First he try to understand and what client especially he is asking, what are the modified form of methodology he is requesting. So that is how your manager will come up with. Okay. So that is nothing but like test methodology. So it will again consist of like different steps: acquire test strategy, determine type of application and environment, determine type of project, so determine scope of application, so risks and mitigation here also you will come up with, and finalize system test plan, finalize module test plan. Okay. So these are the different steps you will come up with. So we go one by one. So as I said, your project manager will come up with a test methodology. So he have to come up with test methodology means I already told he have to acquire test strategy and have to go through thoroughly about and have to understand about the test strategy. Okay. So then determine type of project. Sorry. So what are the type of projects? So don't get confused. There are four types of applications in detail if we go over. What are those? One tier, two tier, three tier, and n tier. But high level, you may consider them as like two tier applications. I mean, like two tier is nothing but like client server applications and web based applications. Also, you can consider it as n tier. Okay. Also, you can consider it as n tier. Okay. But here we are talking about type of project. So there are three types of project you come up with. Those are nothing but like traditional offshore projects or off the shelf and maintenance projects. Okay. And maintenance projects, there are three types of projects like traditional, off the shelf or offshore projects, and maintenance projects. Okay, you may be aware of like STLC model. If you take, how many phases you will come across? Analysis, design, development, testing, and release and maintenance. Okay, so these are the five phases you will come across. Okay. So but let us suppose any of the project maintaining all these phases at a single location, only one office in one single location. That kind of project you can consider as like traditional project. But 2% or 3% of project like this, 90% of the projects going on like onshore offshore projects only or multiple locations. Okay, so normally analysis and design in US or developer countries it will happen, development and testing, okay, in India or outside countries, like that people were maintaining. Or IT industry was developed too much in India, like here, right? So US, UK, something like that. Okay, so most of the clients there only. So that is the reason analysis and design they'll be preparing here, and project managers or one or two members will be here from onshore and driving the team from offshore. Okay, so that is the kind of team they try to maintain. So that is nothing but like offshore. Once they come up with this model, then only your IT industry spread across globe. Okay, spread across all over globe. So that is nothing but like 90 percentage of projects these days you can consider as offshore projects. Okay, then maintenance projects. Maintenance means Gmail is already got developed. Why you want analysis, design, development, testing departments? Really not required, right? So at that time, how people maintain is like one or two developers and one or two testers they keep. So whenever any enhancements or issues they come up with in production environment, so developers will be developing and testers will be testing those CRs. That is nothing but maintenance. Only maintenance phase will be happening. Other phases not required. True. Okay, that is nothing but determine type of project, determine type of application and environment. Here environment means development environment, type of application means which type of application it is, like domain, healthcare, mortgage, securities, telecom, health, like that, which domain it is. If it is healthcare, mostly you go for Java or .NET. If it is telecom, you go for CBEL. Like that, what is the type of application it is and what is good development environment. That is what you try to think. Okay, that is what you try to determine during this phase. Okay, so that is nothing but like determine type of application and environment, then determine scope of application. Means again, one application, if you take this email, which are the features you come across, which are the modules you come across, what is the scope of, what is the importance of each and every module. That is what you try to determine in your next phase during like determine scope of application. Okay, like any of the project you take, no project goes smooth. You may be facing so many issues, as I said yesterday, like any of the project if you take, there are two types of issues you may come across. Those are nothing but like known issues and unknown issues. Known issues, you have to go for performance testing for your application. That is known issue. So performance testing you cannot do manually. So what to go for? You can go for load runner or performance tool. Okay. Then unknown issues. So certainly five people put resignation, but next release is there in next month. If that is the case, company how it will survey? Okay, so these all are nothing but like unknown issues. So at the time what company will do is like they may pick up from another projects which one they may feel like additional resources, or what they do is like mm, for this project who are working for them, they have to work hard or more time. So like that they try to maintain. Okay, so these are common as usual how you come up with in your test strategy. So finalize test responsibility matrix. Test responsibility matrix is nothing but mapping between test factors to different phases of your testing is nothing but test responsibility matrix. Okay, mapping between test factors to different phases. So what are the phases you will come across in your SDLC? Analysis, design, development, testing, release and maintenance. Okay, and what are the test factors? Means like easy to use, access control, authorization, encryption, like that. Total 15 test factors you will come across. Really nobody will ask you like what are test factors or something like that. So but you may get a chance to go for like test responsibility. What is test responsibility matrix? So at the time if you remember this one, that is more than enough. Okay, even this is also not important, but very rarely you may come across situation. But another topic you will come across, but it was not listed here, that is nothing but traceability matrix. Traceability matrix, but that is very very important. Definitely they will ask you if you go for an interview. Okay, so traceability matrix is nothing but like uh okay, as soon as you get a same project, you will be taking one module, your colleague will be taking another module, your another colleague will be taking another module. Now how do you make sure you are covered test cases for all the modules? You may think like this module your colleague may take it, but like that some misunderstanding or communication gap may happen. So at that time there are chances to get like pending for few you may get missed out creating test cases for few modules, right? So if that is the case, how do you manage? So to overcome this kind of issues, what you do is like you will be coming up with traceability matrix. Traceability matrix is nothing but like mapping between test cases to requirements. So like horizontally we will come up with requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3. Okay, requirement 4, requirement 5. How many requirements are there? Like compose mail, inbox, outbox, send mail, drafts, trash, like that. All requirements you come up with horizontally and vertically. Horizontally, so UI test cases, functionality test cases, performance test cases, and security test cases. Okay, so for compose mail, you're covered on a tick mark, tick mark, tick mark. Okay, for inbox, tick mark, cross mark. Cross mark means it was not covered, so you should come up with like that. Okay, like that you will come up with creating traceability matrix. For creating traceability matrix, really no experience required. With little bit guidance anybody can come up with. So they may ask like have you ever created in creating traceability matrix? You say yes you have created, but this is the matrix you try to remember. Okay, and you can show them. It's very easy. Okay, so that is nothing but like traceability matrix. So what is the purpose of traceability matrix? The main intention is like whether you were created test cases for available modules or not. Okay, so that is nothing but traceability matrix. Then system test plan. Nobody come up with like module test plan. So module system test plan itself includes all modules plans. Okay, so our next topic is like test plan. Okay, so our next topic is test plan. There we'll see this is nothing but like your test methodology. Mainly you have to remember your test manager will come up with the test plan, but if it is client specific, so before getting test methodology, what he do is like he will be getting test strategy, go through it completely, understand and come up with test methodology specific to client with bit modifications. Excellent. Okay, so this is nothing but like your test methodology. Then test plan, who will come up with is like test lead. Normally we say like test lead will come up with but all test manager and test will sit together and come up with. Okay. So in order to deliver quality application, you have to plan well for testing that application, right? That is nothing but test plan. Here you will come up with as usual like so many steps. And as I said, this is again who is having more than 6 years or 7 years. For those people only required. So others also can remember, but it's very easily. Okay. So you will come up with like background, introduction, assumptions, features to be tested, features not to be tested, suspension and resumption criteria, test case pass or fail criteria, test items, test approach. Okay. So then test environment, here also you will come up with testing deliverables, testing tasks, environmental needs, responsibilities, staffing and training, scheduling, resources. Okay, finally approval. Risk and contingencies, here also you will come up with an approval. Around 17 you will come up with. Okay. Background. So you come up with Gmail. Why they come up with? Olden days, if you remember, they will be making like letters, right? Posting letters. But it will take too much time, or if it is urgent means it's problematic. That is the reason you come up with email. Okay. So that's the reason, that is brief history about coming up with Gmail. Exactly like that. Whatever the application it is, they should be having some brief history, right, for coming up with that application or that product. Okay. Operating system means they have to operate computers, means they should come up with operating system. Initially DOS operating system they come up with, then Windows. Like that, for each and every application there should be some brief history. That one gets included here in your background portion. Okay. Then introduction, brief history about testing, they will mention here under introduction portion. Okay. So little bit brief history about application put under background portion, brief history about testing they will put under introduction portion. Okay. So brief history I told during our starting class, if you remember, that kind of history they will try to put it up. Or another way, like for coming up with testing for this application, what is the history? Either of the way they will mention. And if you take banking application also web-based application. But when you consider with other applications, okay, other web-based applications, banking applications, you have some special considerations, right? Like that, what are the application you are working? If you have any assumptions, special assumptions, okay, so those one gets mentioned here at the assumptions portion. If any special cases or special requirements or something like that, if your application is having, okay, so at the time you will be mentioning here like under assumptions portion. Okay. Then test items are nothing but like what are the testing tasks, what are the testing features available in your application. That is nothing but test items. What are the test items? Gmail, if you take registration, login, compose mail, inbox, outbox, drafts, trash, everything is nothing but like one item, right? So this is nothing but like test items. These are nothing but test items. Okay. So your features or modules are nothing but like test items. So what is the need of testing each and every feature? That is also gets mentioned. So these are nothing but like all features of your application. Then features to be tested and features not to be tested. What are the testing features you have? Those ones they are dividing into two categories, like features to be tested and features not to be tested. But which are the features you have? All this one needs to be tested, right? But why you are dividing them again like features not to be tested? Is there any specific reason? It's not like that. But most of the features what client require, you should test. But some features, let us assume, client don't want immediately. Another example I will tell you. In your bug reporting, you will get one status like deferred. When you will give bug status as deferred, developer accepted that as a bug, but client don't want that feature immediately. After 6 months or 1 year, he want. At the time, if you fix that bug, it would be good, right? Why unnecessarily you have to fix that bug and waste your time right now? So that kind of features you will be mentioning here like features not to be tested. Okay, features not to be tested. So which features client don't want immediately, after some months or some days he want means, so those kind of features will be mentioning here under features not to be tested. Test approach. What do you mean by test approach? This one I already explained some point of time during your test methodology and test strategy. So if it is usability testing, what is the approach you follow for testing? Where the Microsoft secrets they followed up. If it is web-based application, so WCC standards they were followed or not. If it is like text boxes kind of stuff means testing techniques whether they followed, like testing techniques you try to follow. What are those testing techniques? Boundary value analysis, equivalence class partition, decision table, partition table, or error guessing. That is nothing but like testing approach. Item pass or fail criteria is nothing but like your test case. Test case expected value and actual value. That is nothing but item pass or fail criteria. This is important. So when you will stop your testing and when you can restart your testing. Can you think about it like when you can stop your testing? Very high level, your application met customer expected quality. At the time, you can stop your testing, right? That means like again, it's not possible to deliver 100% quality of the application. So 98% of the application gets accepted. Okay, so at that time you can stop your testing and release it to the customer. At that time you can suspend. Okay, again when you can restart your testing, let us suppose client is coming up with some enhancements. Okay, in future he is coming up with some enhancements or some what do you say like in existing applications some defects they come up with or some changes they come up with. At that time developers will develop and you have to restart your testing. So that is nothing but like suspension and resumption criteria. This is one way if you think about it. Another way also like you are working seriously, new build comes up, so suddenly server went down. Suddenly server went down. What you do as a tester, what is your responsibility is like you will report it to concerned department, they will take care. So server went down means what you will do at this point of time, it will definitely take some amount of time for fixing that issue. Till that time what you will be doing, you cannot. Okay, so you can sit idle just, you cannot do anything. Any documentation person means you will be doing or review kind of stuff means, but server went down means you cannot carry no testing activities, you have to stop your testing. Okay, so as soon as server gets up you can restart your testing. So that is nothing but like suspension and resumption criteria they will mention. This is important. So once whole application gets ready, what are the deliverables you will be releasing it to the customer? What are the daily activities you are performing? Each and every document you should deliver it to client at the point of time, at the time of delivering that application to client. Okay, so what are the deliverables? Test cases, test reports, execution results, bugs, everything. Testability matrix, test responsibility matrix, like this, everything. What are the documents you are using? Weekly status report, daily status reports, sprint reports, everything. You'll be sending it to those are nothing but test deliverables along with the application. Okay, so testing tasks are nothing but what are the different types of testing you have to perform for this application. Each and every feature, whatever you come up with in your application, how do you test each and every feature? Which type of testing you have to perform in order to deliver quality application? That is what gets defined here under testing tasks. This is another important point, environmental needs. Yesterday I have told, in order to start up with your testing, what are the things required? What are the different things required? So mm, if it is requires server virtual machine, a server may require latest build, domain knowledge, test cases, traceability matrix, okay, and latest build installation configuration. So these are the different stuff required. Otherwise, you cannot go for, right? So that is nothing but environmental needs. Responsibilities. Your test manager will take care of how many testers required and who will be take care of what. That is what roles and responsibilities. Staffing and training. Okay. So this is also your test manager or project manager will be taking care. Schedule. Remember one thing. Any of the project they are coming up with means they should definitely come up with test plan, but not or nobody will come up with exactly like this whatever we are discussing here, real test plan like ISO certified company or CMM level company means how they come up with test plan is exactly this is a kind of template. Okay, but people really not coming up with this is a kind of test plan, but every project come up with test plan, but how they come up with only with future scheduling. Okay, so the scheduling is nothing but developers, how many releases they have to come up with, and each and every release, when it will start, when it will finish, and what are the features they are going to develop. The dates and releases for you also same, but for each and every release, what are the features they are developing and releasing it to you. Accordingly, you have to understand the application, you have to design the test cases, and you come up with your execution, that is regression testing. Okay, so that is a kind of plan you will be coming up with. So that is nothing but scheduling. Okay, that is nothing but scheduling. So whatever the development plan they are coming up with, in order to deliver quality application and those features you have to test properly means what are the features you have to follow, what are the how you have to plan. So that is nothing but your schedule. Okay, then resources, we already told which are the resources required, hardware, software, everything. Okay, environmental needs, something like that. Risks and contingencies, this one also we already discussed. Then approval. Once whole of your application gets ready, okay, once whole of your application gets ready, so then what you have to do is whatever the test plan you prepared, your test lead, it needs to be reviewed and gets approved by measured from client and project manager. Okay, so means like background, introduction, and scheduling. Only these three columns you should come up with definitely. Other stuff is optional. Okay, if you want to come up with, you can come up with definitely no issues. But nobody will come up with due to time, due to like critical schedules or something like that. Okay, so this is nothing but like your test plan. This is nothing but like your test methodology. Okay, I have unmuted all. Anybody having any questions? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is important. So if they ask, that is what your experience level. If you are having more than 5 years of experience or 7 or 8, then you say like you have involved in creating test plan. But you have less than 5 years means you don't say, you say like I never get a chance to involve in creating test plan, but I am aware of like how it works. Okay, I have seen even in our project and I'm aware of like how exactly it works. Then you can explain this is the stuff if you remember. Okay, even test methodology, test strategy, all this one you can completely ignore. But some points, important points, that is what you have to remember. Right, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Test lead mostly he will come up with. Then he will get it approved by your test manager and project manager, but primarily from client. Okay. Yeah. Types of your voice middle is break. It's Sweta, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now, could you please come up your question again? Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Even architecture means it's entirely different, Shweta. Entirely architecture means it's very good into question. Even if you go for military, they will definitely ask you. Okay, but that one it will get vary from project to project. How can I say like what is the project you are putting in your okay, but yeah, right, but what you can do is like you can search in Google what are the project you are putting from some of your friends, you may get it up, right? So you tell him, you ask him himself, he will provide you like architecture of that application. Otherwise what you do is like related project, if it is ICICI bank, let us suppose banking related architecture, you search in Google, so make looks like that kind of architecture, you make it and go for interview and explain. Yeah, so at the time online banking, you search in Google, right? You may get so many architectures. What is best suited to, yeah, 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 this is different, that architecture is entirely different, type of application again entirely different, and type of project also different. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 98, 95 to 98. It's real practical variant, practical example I told you. Really 90% of the projects they develop from outside only. Analysis and design happen from US. Development and testing, I can say like 80, more than 80%. I can say instead of 90%, you can make it 80%. More than 80% of the projects they are maintaining like onshore offshore. Onshore offshore doesn't mean like offshore means no. Before that, uh, traditional project means all going on in one location only. In Lakeland, Florida, only one office they have. There only it's happening means that is onshore. But in US also, in Lakeland, development activities going on. In in New Jersey, testing activities are going on. Even that is also you can consider it as offshore. Okay, even that is also you can consider it like offshore. But good meaning if you take for offshore means outer countries. But this is also you can consider it as a offshore, but not like 100% pure. So if you think like that, more than 95% of the projects going for onshore offshore only. But if you take like US only, if you think like that, even at that point of time, more than 80% of the projects going for outside of US only. Okay, that is real. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, that is yeah, good point you have catch. But most of the see another important thing here in US, if you take for project, 2 or 3 or 10% of the team will be there, and remaining 90% outside only. Okay, remaining 90% outside only. You see, and before that, what is the population of US? 30 crores. India population, India and China population, if you take, how much? So that is correct, right? Okay. Most see, I can damn sure like 80% of the projects offshore only. 80%. Okay. But these days, industry is going. You have green card or how it is? Okay, so really these days you don't want to worry. People, if you try seriously, really, you will get job very easily. You don't want to worry. But from your side, look for all channels. You have to get call first. You have to get call means what are the channels you have to follow? Like job portals in India means you will have only Naukri, jobs ahead, but only one portal. Major portal is Naukri only. Jobs ahead and another thing is like what do you say? Another one is there. What is that? The Monster. Even those are not at all good. Okay, but yes, if you take there are so many job portals, right? So all the sudden you have to upload and even try getting like consultancies, approach them. So if you try it out, really these days good openings are there. You get job very easily. Even interview process is very easy, right? So it's not at all difficult there. You are not getting job means you are not saying trying seriously. If you think like see you are thinking means we don't get job, we don't get job, we don't get job. Even though you have chances, you don't get. But one thing I will tell you, you are not getting job means problem with you, not with anybody else. You try seriously means you will get job 100%. No, there is no doubt. I will assure you, no doubt, 100%. You know one thing? No, this is my personal actually, but I am sharing. Uh, actually, I have put. I'm looking for like I'm right now working in L1B visa. I'm looking for H1B sponsorship. Very easily, I have right now in plate like around 10 consultancies for H1B. 10, not one. So I'm choosing like I have chosen one, and through that one I'm applying for H1. Okay, even they have processed everything, interview and everything. They're okay with my profile and offer like they're giving me like permanent payroll something like that, and give like that. Really, see here, I seriously tried 2 weeks only. When I have tried, December and January during that time, I decided like L1 means this project they may put or may not put. This project they said it will be like till December. till September. This project is getting end. Okay, so if that project is if they don't find any another project, means I have to go back to India. That is the reason I look for and seriously I tried. Within 2 weeks of time I got more than 10 consultancies. Okay, so that is what I say. If you try, see, you are in a need of job. If you try, there is no doubt you will get it job. Whatever the experience, whatever the topics I have discussed, even if you go for India, means you may get competitors, but US 2% of the 2% will get competition. What are the topics we are discussing? If you are thorough, means at least you understand concepts, you'll be able to explain in the interview. At least means you don't have implementation skills, let us assume. So you'll be able to at least explain, means 99%, not 99%, 100%, you'll get the job very easily. But time also should get, luck also should be there, everything. But I don't believe luck. 99% I don't believe luck. Only 1% I will give for luck. Okay, so 99% it's in your hand, but only 1% luck also should be there. Okay, so there is no doubt here. You have to try from your side. Okay, yeah, yeah. I have only questions, but answers we will discuss here. We'll discuss. That is what yesterday or day before yesterday I told. We'll discuss. Okay, once we finish with the quality center session, at the end of manual testing, just 3-4 hours we will take manual testing gets finished. Then we'll discuss manual testing into questions. Then we go for automation. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what I have. If no questions for you, means we'll end up our session. Tomorrow we'll meet same time. Okay. Thanks for your time. Okay. Have a good night. See you. Bye. Bye.